Video? 3, 2, 1. Recording video.
Oh.
All right, and then of course the very last thing is going to be our audio for the podcast itself.
Podcast time.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Ooh,
Oh, man,
we got
he
a
went-
good one there.
he went
See,
low on
always
that
unique, always different. He's gonna bring some energy because he comes from. He came as a result of our communication with the Energy, Brian.
Oh, Brian. Okay, well, who is he?
He is Mr. Andy Cruz.
It's actually on
Brian's
screen.
friend.
His name, if you look
Brian's
down on
friend.
his little meter, it says
Right there.
Brian's friend right
Brian's friend. Normally my title says bald guy at office, but today I'll be Brian's friend,
Brian's friend, Andy.
Andy.
Wait, do you have Andy written on the bottom of your shoe?
When I wear my cowboy boots, it's kind of a requirement, and the end has to be backwards, so yes and yes.
Outstanding.
Yep.
He actually did the reference perfect. You're right on.
Toy Story, cowboy boots, yes I got boots, yes I write Andy on the bottom.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I love
Already
it.
going to be a good time, I can tell.
Yep.
Already.
Oh, sorry. Andy, tell me a little bit about you, man. What do you do? So for those people out there
man.
that don't know Brian or Brian's friend.
So the easiest way to describe what I do is I help people get from where it is that they are to where it is they want to be. And then that looks like a lot of different things depending on what the business is, what their role is, and what they're trying to accomplish. So that kind of approach has helped me when I had a career in the mortgage industry. It helped me do it in apparel branding. It's helped me in business networking. It's helped me now as a consultant. It helps me do business development. So it kind
little
of
bit of
serves a lot of purposes because in every situation, every conversation, someone is somewhere, and where they want to be, there's a path to get there, and they don't usually know how, and they know why they want to, and they usually know what to do, but they don't know how. And so the how is where I fit in.
So you're a real life bridge builder in a sense.
Yes.
Let me show you the pathway.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig a little deeper. What do you mean by I get you from point A to point B? Because it's very, very metaphorical.
Yeah, it's very metaphorical. It's very vague. So for example, let's say that this is a situation for most entrepreneurs who are solopreneurs, work by themselves. Is they spend all their time working in the business and no time working on the business, right? So E-Myth, Michael Gerber, work in your business, but work on your business. Don't just get stuck in it.
Yes.
So they then get stuck inside the business and fail to have a long-term plan, fail to have something that's written out, fail to have something that has time measurements, fail to have something that has accountabilities in place and structure and safeguards, and then fail to execute on all of it.
Yes.
So the difference is really going from not having disciplines in behavior and habits to having disciplines in behaviors and habits that help you positively affect the outcomes in your business.
All right. So here's a scenario. Maybe we can work through this. We have this podcast that you happen to be on, right? We kind of just built it because somebody said it would be a good idea to do this podcast thing, and it's been so far successful. We've been doing a good job of getting people, on the show, bringing our listeners value so that they get to know different people in different industries and learn some things, right? But we have no real direction. So we're somewhere. If I was coming to you, how do I get to where I want to go? Where do we start from there?
Well, I think you asked just like you were going to take a vacation. Say, where is it we want to be in 300 miles? Or where do we want to be in 5 years? So if you and I are going to take a trip from San Diego to New York, do we just go, we'll just take any street and get there?
Yeah, we
don't-
had a lot of dead ends and trees.
But this is what we do in business. This
Right.
is what, and I've done this when I was younger in business, in my first couple of years, trying to figure it out, thinking I knew stuff and I didn't. Is we go, that's what I want, and then we start going. We have no idea, no plan, no structure, no timing. We don't even schedule breaks and rest, but they're important and they're critical.
Right.
So
you gotta eat, you gotta sleep.
you gotta take care of yourself. Got a good cell phone analogy I'll come back to on that one. But, so to answer your question though, is we gotta start with the end in mind. What is it you guys want? What do you want out of this? And then you reverse engineer how to make that happen. So if you're saying, hey, we want to have we want this to reach 1 million people in 3 years. Okay, that's great. So then systematically, how do we need to walk into that and then grow into that and scale into that? Because you'll end up bumping into walls all across the way.
Right.
Does it mean you got to do 1 million interviews? No. Does it mean you have to have 1 million followers? No, not if it's shared. So you can almost mathematically start putting some of the computations together on how to achieve that, but you got to start with the end in mind.
Right. And that's always the hardest part is coming in with an exit strategy. Right? We talk about that with investing for long term, right? When you want to get, I talk about this with my high school seniors. Like, why do we go to work? Why do you go to work every single day? I mean, most people don't really understand the why. Well, the intention is to put some money aside, right? Obviously live on a day-to-day basis, but then put some money aside so that eventually you can stop working.
Right.
Well, if that's the end game, if the end game is to stop working, then what's that dollar amount look like, right? If I can just reach that dollar amount with rentals or 401ks or whatever your investment vehicle is going to be, if I can get there, I'm done. Right? So how do you help people develop that end thought process? Is that something that they have to already have, or do you help them come up with it?
No, because I mean, sometimes it's not even that is a defined end goal. It's that they want the option. Like that's sometimes the goal. Is I want the choice to punch out when I want to by the time I'm 50 or 60 or whatever. And not all the times are the goals financial. You know, the finances are going to underpin a lot of things in your life, but they aren't always that. Maybe there's specific accomplishments that you've done in your life. So, you know, there's kind of like that quantitative and qualitative. And then it's really just having a conversation, figure out what is it you really want, because it's not something I want. It's what do you want? And then
I'm helping you get to your goal here, buddy.
Once you tell me what you want, then we'll figure out, okay, well, then we need to move these things in your life around that goal. We need to move these things around your business to support that goal. And then you can actually start tinkering around with the pieces.
So what have you been working on lately that's helping somebody structure something?
Well, right now, Mr. Energy, I Am Energy, Brian Landeros and I spend quite a bit of time over there at Mortgage Heroes. So Mortgage Heroes is owned by Tanya Cruz and William Flores. Tanya's my cousin. Okay. So it's a family business. And so right now I'm doing business development for them, which includes proactively planning all the social media for an entire quarter, plus doing week in review videos throughout the week, creative content, doing email newsletters with highlighting community heroes, upcoming events that are happening, and then really creating an overall experience that's about the consumer. Most mortgage and real estate companies make the entire experience about them.
Ooh,
yes,
that was me.
All their marketing about them. They make all their posts about them, and there's kind of like a time and a place for that. And some of that is okay, but there's a general what's the word I'm trying to say? They're underserving people in a nurturing way.
Right.
There's not enough nurturing happening.
Right. And, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody today that's going to be in the podcast here in the future, and we're talking about, you know, how you actually go about building those relationships, right? I mean, our hashtag thing that we've been working on 2019 is hashtag powerful relationships. But what does that really mean? Right? I mean, it's not very easily can we get trapped in a transactional setting. Like, you know, hey, this is the client, this is what the client needs, and we get it done, and boom, and then that's the end of the relationship. But that's not really how you're going to end up building a long-term business.
No, because it's all based on the transaction. I mean, the way that I was able to build, powerful relationships that mattered was doing things that relationally mattered.
Speaking of powerful relationships, shout out to Dean Aguilar on the show.
What up, Dean?
Said what up, Andy Cruz.
Hey, Dean Aguilar, how's it going? You guys, I've known Dean since 2000 and I want to say 11 or 12, because I don't remember which exact year it was, when he just moved to San Diego from Washington, D.C. That's how I met Dean.
That's how you met Dean? Did you help him out a bit, or
how did this work? Relational power.
All right, let's speak of a powerful relationship. All right, let's go.
You know, so here's the thing. Like, for many years, I've just kind of done life with this attitude of do life with people. Okay? So you're having a bad day. I can't just go, I'm not going to be your friend today or be your buddy or have your back today because, I got work to do or I got a transaction. Or we're not in a transaction. This conversation can make me money, well, then I got to go. Like, that's not how friendships are built. And so many years ago, I started figuring out that I'm comfortable swimming in the deep end of life, in the deep stuff, in the trenches, and I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable talking about it. I'm comfortable listening to other people talk about it. And as I started doing that, your credibility changes. And the trust that people have for you changes because they see that you're not just out in your life caring about only your life.
Right.
And I've never been that way. And so I just did more of that with more people. And then trust began developing over the course of time.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, I like to be a lot like that. I mean, I think it's evident in our show, the fact that I don't want the limelight on me, but I want to be next to the person that I'm helping get the limelight on them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And do you feel like a little bit, it's almost selfish in a way. The more people I can help, the better I personally feel.
I don't do it so I feel better. I do it because I care about people. And so, if someone needs help and it's within my power to help them, I do it because I kind of feel called to do it. And I do it because I want to. I don't do it because I have selfish endeavors that I want any sort of credit or anything.
Right.
And then what ends up happening is there is a time where I need help in my life, and then I have people I can go and talk to and say, hey, I need help. And it's not because I'd already kept score with people and it's I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. It's like, man, now I need help. Can anybody help me with this?
Right.
And then I have plenty of support.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't want to make it sound like a selfish thing. It's not. It's just I think it's if you enjoy doing it, it's a different level than if you have that obligation. I think that's where the disconnect happens with people is when they help, they always help with an intent of reciprocity. I'm helping you because I know you owe me type thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas the feeling I get from you is you need help. I'm just gonna help you because you need help, man. Because your shoes are messed up, or you need a shirt on your back or something. You know what I mean? Something as simple as that.
And reciprocity doesn't mean tit for tat. That's the problem.
Yes.
Reciprocity can come from somewhere else. So let's say you're helping me in one way, but then you're going to get help from someone else out of left field for something you need that I can't offer.
Right.
And so this has happened for many years in networking, where people go, oh, well, your networking group, the mortgage and real estate person are the best referral partners. Not true. And the reason is because if you're terrible at referring, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. and if you're really good at referring, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. So there was a year in my networking group where the number 1 and number 2 referral givers to me as a mortgage person was the auto body collision guy, and the real estate immigration attorney, whose clients couldn't be my clients. You understand? Now, she wasn't referring me her clients. She was referring me her friends, her family. She had her own deals she needed to work on. I had 3 transactions in 1 year just from her, and she's in an industry helping people every day that I can't help. Not at all. Okay, and the auto body collision, he's fixing cars. These people, they have that on their mind. I gotta get to work and back, kids stuff back. They don't care about their house loan.
Yeah, they had a traumatic experience just recently.
They got a lot of stuff going on. They gotta deal with their insurance. Last thing they want is to deal with underwriting and conditions and crap like that too. And so there's this misconception that because we're in the same industry, we're actually good at referring, and that's not the case. And so reciprocity comes from lots of different angles. I can give referrals to people all day long that have nothing to do with it helping me in the end. That could be the divorce attorney. Mm-hmm. Or that could be, and that could help in some cases, but there's plenty of industries where I could pass a referral to somebody and there is no way there's going to be something coming back to me because of it. But I'll get something from somewhere else because someone else is looking out for an opportunity to refer me, regardless of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's another word that we like to use for that is karma, right? Because that's really what it is. The more positive energy that you're putting out in the world, the more it's going to come back to you. And I 100% agree with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be tit for tat.
It's the concept of sowing and reaping. I mean, if you plant seeds for weeds, you're going to grow weeds. Yes. If you plant seeds for fruit, you'll harvest fruit.
Yes. I love that. I love, dude, what's his name? Earl Nightingale. Oh, dude, I love some of his stuff. I mean, we used to listen to do you remember the name of that one? It was like 15 minutes?
It was The Greatest Secret in the World.
The Greatest Secret. And it has a lot of that. And he goes over a bunch of different areas where, in literature, in the Bible, in life, different examples of the same type of idea of reciprocity coming in over and over and over again. And I mean, my dad showed that to us, I don't know how long ago now. I mean, years ago. And it's kind of one of those things that's been embedded in us, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just how we continue to move forward. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time getting things across to people who don't think like that, who only have a transactional mindset.
Let's talk about that for a second, because you're referencing that you were brought up in an environment that kind of fostered that.
Yes.
And so people go, well, I wasn't. So what does that mean for me?
Right.
Well, that means that you're going to have to maybe put a little bit of effort, or maybe have a teammate or a running mate or a buddy to help you, maybe who has had that fostered into them. And so this is the situation I find myself in often. Someone goes, oh, that sounds great that your parents were like that, or your business environment was like that and it was supported, but mine wasn't. So now what do? Well, here's the great thing. I have been, so I can help you. So you take that attitude of looking to help people first, and you match it with the skill set, or not the skill set, but the experience of having been down that road, and then you bring people with you. That's That's what I call doing life. You just do life with people, and you make yourself available to help them and teach them and help grow them. And then what ends up happening is they end up getting their feet underneath them, and then they start taking off down the road with their own momentum.
Oh, dude. And that's the beauty of what it is you do. Like, I mean, you're touching on so many points here. It's hard for me to narrow some stuff down. But I mean, it's kind of like when you see successful people and they're doing really, really well, and they always happen to know people who are successful in other industries, right? Mm-hmm. And it's one of those where you look at the person at the top and you think, well, yeah, of course he knows all these people. But what you might not understand is they grew up together. Like, and not necessarily growing up like little kids. I mean, like, they've helped each other out to become the level that they are.
Right.
And that's the reason why you have really good connections. Oh, you want to go to this place? Call my guy over here. You want to go to this place? Call my guy over here. Yeah. Because you spent that time helping build each other, even though, like you said, it's not necessarily a tit for tat. But you have good people around you that you can reach out to.
Well, and that's true because I think each of us can relate in the fact that there's times when we feel seasonally confident or seasonally strong or seasonally competent, and then there's seasons where we feel the opposite of that.
Yeah, and you can almost say that daily.
And when sometimes that's moment by moment, hour by hour, or deal by deal, call by call, class by class, whatever it is. And so then the thing is that, do I know these people long enough that they walked through these seasons with me and I with them, and we still had each other's back? And when you've walked seasons through with people and they walked it through with you, we're not trying to figure out if we trust each other anymore. We're not questioning each other's intentions. We're not questioning our credibility, our authenticity, or our ability to do our job, whether it's insurance or real estate or mortgage or consulting or teaching, coaching, training. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Because we've already proven ourselves that we're going to be good at what we do. Even though you've seen both the good and the bad in me, you know what I'm capable of. And because of that, that's why you refer me. That's why you help me. That's why I help you. That's why you ask me. That's why all that stuff.
Well, I mean, it's a powerful relationship,
that's
right?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And it's funny because you look at, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, business relationship, marriage, right? It's funny because when you look at a photograph album, that's an age thing, right? So when we were kids, we'd look at photo albums, and almost every picture is a smile. But what you're missing in that is all the downsides, all the tears, all the struggles, all the stress. That's what's not shown in the photo album. And it's the same thing in social media today. You see everybody's smiles and success and their best dress and the facade that looks like everything's perfect. But what you don't see in the relationship is the struggle, is the tear, is the down part that gets you between the smiles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the relationship, and that's what you're talking about. That is where you're really, truly building what it is that you're talking about. Is when you're helping them through those points.
I mean, look, it's happening. Just because I'm not putting it on social media doesn't mean it didn't happen. Right. Like, and that's the thing. Like, so you swing back to the '60s or the '70s. Okay, we took a static picture in time for 1 second. Literally 1 second. We've got that picture. Okay, now the rest of life is happening before, after, and during that.
Absolutely.
And so now it's what's happened, I think, for me with the people I've connected to is they want to spend time face to face. They want to have a phone call. They want to spend time together because it's too easy to just send a text message. It's too easy to just send something on social media. And the truth is, most people won't share the truth on social media because they're scared. and I've had my seasons where I did not want to be vulnerable because I felt vulnerable.
Yes.
But out of that season of feeling vulnerable, now I can talk about what it was like to feel vulnerable and work on overcoming that. And if I keep that to myself, I'm not helping people that might be vulnerable and aren't sharing it because you don't share that on social media.
Yeah.
So I just started sharing it this year. And I get direct messages, I get texts, I get phone calls. Hey, thanks for saying that. And I'm like, well, I don't even know who's looking, right? But it's just because I had to eventually cross this threshold of being willing to share.
Dude, that says so much. I mean, how has it changed? Okay, you've already told me a little bit about how has it changed, but how has your outlook on what you put out there in social media or how you consult people on social media now that you've been putting out stuff that makes you feel more vulnerable?
I think it's a tale of two sides, actually. I think it's what am I trying to say? One coin, two sides. Yeah. On one side, it's definitely not over-stressing or overthinking what it should look like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like scraping through. Am I using the right word? And is this picture lighting perfect? No,
you're not shooting for perfection.
There's the picture, and here's my thought. and part of that kind of comes with a I don't care if you like this or not attitude, because honestly, I don't. And it's not because I'm being inconsiderate. It's because I'm saying it because I want the person who will resonate to care, not people who don't. Okay,
right.
So there's that part, and then there's the other part where it's being real. And being real is sometimes the hardest thing to do because it makes you vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So if you can stop caring if it's perfect or not, or whether it's going to get 1 million views or not, and you can be vulnerable enough to share so that it will help somebody, you're going to find that your content is actually more valuable to people than not. Because there's a ton of white noise, and we could throw out white noise very easily. I really don't need to see more pictures of salads. I don't. And I'm not dissing my friends who take pictures of salads. It's fine. Good for you. You had a salad today.
Yeah,
I'm colorblind. I can't even see green. Like, come on.
Shades of gray.
Yeah.
So I want to comment here because today on our team call, we were talking about social media and powerful relationships and using social media to help build and solidify those relationships, to let people know what it is that you do. And one of our agents had this concern that, well, what if, I like something that's political and I start to lose, customers because I liked this political post. Or even worse, she happens to be in a relationship with someone of a different nationality, right? Different skin tone. And there are apparently people who would not appreciate that very much. And I'm like, wow, like these are people that you just don't want to do business with.
In the first place.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on there. So first of all, I think thanks for asking.
No. This is a legit. This is so to kind of shore that up a little bit. What we're noticing is that in the real estate industry, in the real estate space, a lot of people are using social media very much for content creation, doing all these different things. But I'm not seeing it as much in the insurance industry. So
there's technical reasons and there's personal reasons, right? So let's dissect some of what you already said, okay? So first of all, something I learned a long time ago, didn't learn from church actually, was major on the major, minor on the minors. Major on the majors,
major on the major,
minor on the minors. Like, and here's the other thing is like, how much do you care that other people care about what you care about? Like, if you're gonna like post political stuff, that's fine, but if you're doing that and that's what you're hoping people will positively respond to, I don't think that's a really good choice. You're going at it the
wrong way, right?
And someone I know very well said to me once, never has anyone changed someone else's opinion in the comments. Right.
That's 100% true.
Never happened.
It's never happened.
So you can have a political affinity to the right, the left, dead center, or sideways, and you're not going to convince someone in the comments section through static texting or static sentences that are going to change their life or their opinion.
Yeah, no.
It's because that's not human interaction. It's interacting through digital platforms.
Right.
It's humans doing it, but it's not like us sitting around the table having a conversation intellectually about it.
Right.
And the other thing is, to your point, is if people care if people are upset that I care about this person because of their age, skin color, but honestly, I'm really sorry, but that's just where it's got to end. Yeah. If you can't just love people because they're people, then
I don't want to associate with you anyway.
And here's the easy part: is when you do more of that, the people that are offended by that are like, I don't want to be around that anymore. Like, great, cool. Bye.
You solve that problem real quick.
There's a speaking tactic that says go offend early and often. It's like conference speakers and trainers, like offend early and often, because the people who are like, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to this guy, they lean in, and everyone else, they check out.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got your audience that are really there to listen to you listening, and the rest are want to check their phone, go get coffee in the lobby, whatever, do work.
They don't want to be there anyways.
They don't want to be there anyways.
Yeah. You don't want to talk to them anyways.
Offend early and often.
I like
offend
that.
Early and often. I like
offend early and often. And here's another thing that I was going to say about the comment section and about worrying about what people say. I noticed that because I interact with the people when I post, the comments that tend to come in the interactions are from people that I care about and talk to anyways. I rarely ever get a negative comment. However, I got a buddy of mine. They did like a gender reveal thing. And somebody bought it up and it went viral. They got over 1 million views, right? That video, however, has all kinds of opinions. All kinds of negative opinions, right? About, I can't believe the kid was spoiled, or why would you let your kid do that? And I'm reading the comments, and almost all those types of comments are negative.
Gosh.
But they're people I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do I even care? Right? And that's I think the biggest difference. When we were talking about branding the other day.
Yeah.
We're not creating a brand like Coca-Cola. Most of the content you're going to put out is not going 1 million views to hit people that you're never going to see. It's to be brand aware with your circle of influence to help it increase the powerful relationship, not to reach the millions, right?
Well, whether it reaches 10 people or reaches 1,000 or 1 million, I think the root thing here is share what you want to share in the way you want to share it. And then if you're having a problem with people online, you have to take a personal assessment and go, okay, how much of the content I'm posting is negative and positive? Mm-hmm. And that's just me being Andy.
Yeah,
because the social media is not the actual problem. It's whatever the problem people already have, they bring into social media. Yes. Okay, so if I have a self-confidence problem and then I'm just spewing negativity on social media just becomes the place I do it.
Yes.
Now, if I had a megaphone and I was standing at the farmer's market and I just wanted to complain to people like, you shouldn't be spoiling your kids like that. Oh, are you sure you want to give your kid that hot dog? You're going
to get the same response.
First of all, most of the crap people complain about or make negative comments on social media, they wouldn't dare say face-to-face with somebody if it was in person.
Right.
So there's keyboard warriors.
All right.
And then they bring whatever problem that they already have in their life to social media, and then it starts becoming revealed. So people are actually showing you what they feel like and what's going on in their life right now by what they're writing. All the time, and no one is talking about this. At least, I mean, maybe they are, and I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody talking about it.
It's therapy online almost, right? You're really getting a glimpse into their inner soul or inner problems.
Yeah, people, regard whether they know it or not, they're demonstrating their feelings publicly every single day, or every hour, or every single comment. So I had a comment recently with someone who was very much negative. I posted a funny meme about the banks and the banking industry, and someone just really hates the banks. I'm like, oh, that's fine. You hate the banks. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm so angry. Da, 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 da. And so we ended up getting on DM. And I was like, hey, man, like, totally didn't mean to offend you. What happened? Like, what happened to you? Oh, well, this and that, and these people weren't held accountable. Da, da, da. I'm like, hey, man, I know. I lost everything too in 2008. Like, and you know that. So I'm not saying this to ruffle your feathers and make you upset, but man, I'm sorry you're still bent about this. And his true feelings were operating his keys.
Yes.
His true feelings were operating his comments. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah. I mean, Gary Vee talks about this all the time. If you have a negative comment, you almost got to feel empathetic because you don't know what's going on in their life. They took the time to look at your content, take a thought about what's going on in their life, and then turn around and give you some of the negativity that's going on in their life and place it on social media. That's tough. Like, you really, at least they had the nerve to, at least they listened to your message. Whether or not they got something out of it is a totally different ballgame. But I like how you went the extra mile and you went on the DM route.
Yeah, because I reached out right away. I said, hey, man, I saw your comment, but I don't know. I didn't mean to upset you. And here's the thing, you guys, like, I've read the Bible a couple times, and something that's really stuck out to me was, out of the mouth flows the overflow of the heart. So usually what people are saying is an overflow of what's already in their heart. So if it's bitterness and it's anger and it's frustration and it's negativity, that's what's going on inside. And that's not me trying to be spiritual. It's just
when you look at the truth.
When people are genuinely happy inside, they're outwardly and externally happy too. And they're joyful, and they're usually peaceful people, and they're engaging and welcoming and fun and loving and caring and kind. And when people aren't that, they're not that because they don't know how to be, because it's not in them.
Right.
Or it might have been in them at one point, but it's not in them right now. So that's what you can always tell what's going on just by taking a second and looking at what they're writing. It's coming from a true place.
Sounds like Andy's telling us that your social media profile is a glimpse into your heart.
Sure, it's a glimpse of, it can either be a glimpse of what you want people to think you're about, which now just means you're a fake, or it can be real. Okay? So here's an example. I had a business coach many years ago, and I was talking about my clients. I said, my clients are always telling me who they are. I can tell every single time I meet somebody. He goes, no, sometimes people, they come in and they pretend like things are okay. I'm like, yeah, I call them pretenders. They're liars.
They are.
And I said, I'm not talking down to them. I'm not calling people liars and they're mean and rude. I'm just saying, man, if they got to cover up, then they're cover-up artists. So they are telling me who they are.
Yes.
Because that's who they are. So I said, I get what you're trying to get me to understand. Like, oh, they're not showing you the real thing and they're pretending this way. I'm like, yeah, well, they're a pretender.
Yeah, but there's also two types of social media people, right? They're posters and there are watchers, right? So if somebody's not really a commenter, is going to keep it to themselves, or they're only the commenters. I mean, is that pretending anymore? Or is that just...
No, I'm talking about like you're saying, like, is the profile, is it revealing your heart? I think it is if you're allowing it to. Again, it's a vulnerability. Okay. It's a vulnerability thing.
Yes.
Am I allowing my social media to reflect what's going on in my life? Yes or no? Right. And if I'm not, then I'm portraying something that's not real. I'm faking it.
Or you're only portraying one part of your life.
Or one part of it, one side of the coin, whatever.
Right.
And for my own self, there's nowadays a healthy dose of the positive, because there's also a healthy dose of the positive going on. Mm-hmm. And also I'm trying to inspire and encourage people who know over the last 12 months, 18 months, I've gone through a difficult time and have come out of that and I'm getting back to the top again. So I'm sharing that story because people kind of knew it happened, and now I'm giving in all the details and filling them in and catching them up and saying, let's go. The other thing that you brought up, though, that was interesting is people who are watchers, posters and watchers. Mm-hmm. And I similar to networking, it's like a party. People love being invited to the party, but not everybody's a good host. Right? So you're going to have a party here all over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And so you're a good host. You're hosting this show. You're hosting lots of other people that are coming in on a regular basis, and you're inviting them in. That's a very, very specified skill set and talent. Not a lot of people have that. And most people love being considered and invited, but they don't know how to throw a party.
Wow, dude, that's actually kind of deep. It's funny because we actually do get complimented on, hey, you made it feel more comfortable. You allowed us to talk. You allowed us to say things. I'm like, for me, I'm like, I don't understand. I just asked you a question and you told me your story. Mm-hmm. But I now that you're putting it that way, like, I do know that at a party, there's different types of people. There are the people watchers that sit in the corner, and they're the ones who go out and engage, and they're the ones who are always taking care of everybody, picking up after everybody. There's all these different personality types. So, you're absolutely right.
And people do what they're comfortable with at a party, just as they do online. So if I'm comfortable complaining online, when I'm at the party, they're usually complaining too. It's because people do what they're good at. And unfortunately, people are really good at complaining, criticizing, and picking crap apart. So that's what they do everywhere.
All right, how can we? All right,
we need to do this again?
We do, right? Let's take all the information that we've done, because now I feel like we've done a really good analysis of who our audience is, right, and what these comments mean. How can we use that information to help advance us, like, business-wise, right? Because, I mean, that's ultimately what we're doing on the show, and that's what people tend to want to use their social media for, at least our listeners. Mm-hmm. How do we take that information that we now understand and know about these people and use it to our advantage to help increase our powerful relationships?
Well, there's a mechanical answer to that, but I think simply the what I would say is everyone needs to fall into some sort of category. Like if you have... First of all, if they don't know who you are, you're invisible. Once they know who you are, you're now visible. Once they know who you are and what you do, and that you do it well, you're credible. And that once you are credible and they conduct a business with you, does it become profitable? So it's up to us to identify where our audience is at with us in that process. So if people don't know me, I'm invisible to them.
You're still in phase one.
If they know me and they don't find me credible yet, then they are stuck with me in visibility and they're getting comfortable yet. And everyone has different comfort speeds of becoming comfortable when it comes to trust, especially when you're dealing with insurance, trust in estate, high value ticket items, financial planning, estate planning, real estate and mortgage. I mean, real estate, biggest asset they'll probably have, mortgage, largest debt they'll have, and largest monthly payment, and largest tax deduction.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and pick the cheapest person online, not the person who knows the most, right?
Yeah.
But this is what our consumer behavior does.
Right.
So someone who's at credibility has already seen us, knows who we are, trusts what we've done because we've showed them evidence of success over the course of time, regardless of what the market's doing. And then they will refer someone in or come in themselves, and then it becomes profitable once they do business with us.
I like how you broke that up. Did you hear that? I mean,
that was gold, man.
That was, yeah.
That's
one of
gold.
those where we're going to take the little segment and you're going to cut it up.
So this is a time where I say, thank you, Dr. Ivan Meisner from BNI International. Thank you.
That's where that information came from?
It's actually a networking framework that has to do with whether or not people will refer you. Because if I don't know you and you don't know me, we're invisible to each other. And then once we're in visibility, it doesn't mean we trust each other yet, but we work on that, and then we become credible to each other. And then once we're credible, an opportunity comes up, then we can refer one another and becomes profitable.
That's gold. I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
But it's true. Does that happen to insurance?
No, that's exactly that's the exact path that it always happens.
Yep.
I just never heard it laid out. But that's 100% correct.
So that's how you talk to your audience then. You have to know there's people that are just coming to visibility with you, people that are working themselves towards credibility, and some that are credible that just don't know when to strike when the iron's hot. So you have to show them and invite them into those processes.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So we got agents out there putting out all kinds of content, but maybe they're trying to put out the content and they think they're at the profitable stage when they're still trying to get past the invisibility.
That's all the content they put out,
or the credibility,
well, that's just the way it is. And and look, I have a lot of friends who are agents, and for a long time have been, and so it's totally fine. I've got an open house on Saturday. My job is to sell that house. Okay, this family's hiring me to sell this house. So yeah, I'm going to market the snot out of it. I get that. But the difference is if you're going to get that listing, that person has to trust you.
Right.
So to get the listing, you have to be trusted, which the credibility has to be in place. And then it's profitable after you've done that marketing, had the open house, you close the escrow, right?
Right.
And so it's unfortunate that most people go, hi, my name's Andy. Let's do business. Okay, well, I was invisible 10 seconds ago, and now I'm asking for profit. I'm skipping the visibility and the credibility part, and I'm not taking enough time for you to know me to know you, and actually make something that lasts and be a powerful relationship.
So that's what you're actually doing over here with the content with Mortgage Heroes, is you're building that. You're taking them out of the invisibility phase. You're putting them into because when I watch the videos that you guys put out, I really kind of get to know your office. I know the dynamic that goes on and how much fun you guys have out there. You know, it's starting to get to you're not invisible anymore. And now you're heading them into that next phase.
Yes. Yep. I mean, so we went from not having that and to having that. So now we have the visibility part, and it's consistent. The consistency is the key part here too. Consistency of standard and quality, and consistency of distribution. So people know, every Friday we're going to get Week in Review. In fact, it's going to come out as soon as I'm done here. I was editing it before I came here, and it's going to post tonight. So Week in Review comes out tonight. And then the credibility part is already being infused into everything we do. The credibility is years of service. The credibility is number of transactions closed. The credibility is, we went through the recession in 2008, 9, 10, and we're still here. It's staying power. That's credible. And then we're now getting permission from people who are getting their loans approved and getting their house in escrow and getting their keys to share their story, which is showing peer-to-peer live examples of success.
Yeah, see, I mean, but that's a strategy. That's the difference between going out and using social media and taking pictures of your gray salad. Great, because you're colorblind, right?
That's right.
That's the difference between using social media to do that and actually building something that has a purpose, you're doing it with an intent in mind.
It's the difference of wanting to go to New York and going to New York.
Starting the car with a map and a direction versus just getting in and going.
Lots of things are started off intentions.
Right. Yeah, I look at him, but I mean, it's because it's exactly what we always talk about. You're exactly right. Oh. The whole reason we did the podcast, great intention, but building the path.
But the thing is, you're doing it. Like, so this is a live example of the difference between people in executing on an intention or not. Mm-hmm. And lots of people will intend to do a podcast, intend to do videos, intend to be consistent, intend to do social media regularly. And it's just an intention, but it lacks structure. It lacks accountability. It lacks purpose. It lacks forethought. It lacks planning. And then it doesn't get done.
Right.
And so the difference is you guys are actually doing it. And so there's so many people that will be, that will ultimately fail for lack of trying.
Well,
lack of starting.
Lack of commitment. I've had people since we started to try to start other podcasts. I'm like, yeah, I have the equipment. Just come over and do it. And it'll last we'll do it once a week. Okay, cool. Well, 6 weeks down the road, whatever, it's over. Like, oh, I can't make it. I can't reschedule, whatever. We post every day. That's tough.
We need to.
That's a lot because of you.
Yeah.
we need to find the source of this quote, but I love it. It says, "Fear kills more dreams than failure." Fear kills more dreams than failure.
And that's true. You're just fear kills more dreams than failure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because you never attempt. And that's the fear stops you from actually
Susie
doing. Susie Kasem.
That's a really quick Google find right there.
I love having.
Did I even say it right? Now that we know,
it was exactly right. Yeah,
Whoa.
Fear kills more dreams than failure. In fact,
I also know my phone number.
Google finished the sentence before me.
Oh no! Oh, okay. They filled
heard
that
you.
in. Oh,
it heard
shoot.
you.
All right.
That's probably what happened.
No, it's because when you came in and asked you to download the app, you gave it permission.
Snowden heard me.
Snowden heard
exactly
you. That's right. WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
We're done for.
That's right.
How we doing?
Man. Oh, we're
good.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, cool. So, Andy, dude, awesome time breaking down this whole social media. We've been pitching it, and I mean, it's so easy to get trapped in with your thumbs on a screen and get lost in what's going on, or deciding what to post or when to post or how to post or what's the intent. I mean, you've done a great job here with us today. Like just actually breaking that down, even that whole little networking thing at the end, just gives me an understanding of where I am today and gives me intent, it gives me direction. You've laid out a nice little map for me. So I know listeners out there are going to understand at least a little more of what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Good. I hope that they can take something from this. And if it's okay, I can share one last thought.
By all means.
It would be this. And this is what we do at the office. We always have two types of activities at the office, and there's no third activity. You're either originating or you're creating. There's no third choice. You're either originating or creating. And the originating part and the creating part both fall into the invisibility, visibility, credibility, and profitability part. So all four of those stages can happen when you're creating content and you're creating videos and creating photos and creating copy and blogs. And it also happens when you're originating, because originating activities doesn't mean taking a loan app and doesn't mean locking a loan. It means fostering relationships, cultivating relationships as well.
Dude, deep stuff.
Hashtag powerful relationships, man. This has been very, very good. Very
Business
educational.
Bros.
Oh,
Business bros. Andy, I'm going to give you a little bit more time here on the camera. And how do people get a hold of you if they want to work with you?
I use a typewriter.
Awesome.
So, no, I'm just kidding. You can write me a letter at the best
cursive only.
That's right. The best way to reach me would be on Instagram, the Andy Cruz. So Instagram, the Andy Cruz, and if you want to check out my personal business website, that's andycruz.biz, B-I-Z.
Perfect. I was telling him earlier, I love the B-I-Z. I bought the domain name Business Bros B-I-Z. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I own it, and we'll put something to work with it sometime soon in the future.
I want to buy the domain nobizlikeshow.biz. No biz like show biz.
Love it. Why not?
That's a good one. Google it. Is it available?
Yeah.
Lock it down.
Probably.
Someone's going to lock it down right now.
Right?
Try to sell it to me for
It's about to happen.
$1 gajillion.
And you've met so many cool people doing everything you've done. Who do you think would be amazing to be on the show?
Ooh, there's lots of people. I think for the audience you have right now, there's several people that are business owners, but I think someone who would bring real good relevance for real estate and mortgage and people in finance would be Frank Criticos. So I just talked to Frank earlier this week, and he works for San Diego Credit Solutions, and he is a credit expert. He's actually helped me in the past, as well as many of my clients and other people I know in business work on their credit and also work on their clients' credit.
Definitely something to help, because we're in that phase of the market where there's people who want to buy, and they're just got to get a few things cleared up, fixed, and patched up to get them in a position to do that. So, yeah, definitely do me a favor and tag them.
Yes.
Don't tell them it's at the end of the episode, though.
You got it.
You'll have to listen to the whole thing.
It's been such a great show. Thank you for being your open, vulnerable, and honest, true to yourself self.
Thanks, man.
There's a lot of value in that for sure. It's all part of building those powerful relationships. And man, those nuggets of gold that you dropped are going to be played and replayed by me at least, because it's so much that I can teach to the rest of my team on the insurance side as well. So thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate it.
I thought you were going to say you have a hard time sleeping. I'm gonna play that tonight at 10:30.
Over and over again.
That'll work.
Andy, thanks again for being on the show, man. Really, really appreciate it. If you guys want to reach out to us, be part of the program, you can reach me at hernan@csfirst.com for any of your insurance needs, james@csfirst.com, or on our social media feeds at Business Bros Pod. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out.
Business Bros.
Dude.
Perfect.
So much good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
What's